All right, today we have John Crossman with us. John, thank you for joining us. I have a little context, but please tell me about your upbringing. Maybe a quick 2 minute synopsis of who you were growing up. Did you play sports? Were you a good student? Who your parents were? Give me a little context to
Sure,
it.
sure. Well, first off, it's so nice to be with you, and thanks for all you do. You're doing a great job promoting important topics, so thank you. My dad was a pastor and civil rights leader, so I grew up in a pretty unique environment for that. And being a preacher's kid, they've done studies that preacher kids tend to outperform both doctors' kids and lawyers' kids. And I think the reason why that is that growing up in a preacher's kid's house, particularly being civil rights leader's house, you grow up in an educated home, you grow up in a very community-minded home, and you grow up in a limited funds home, you know. And so I always tell people I became a devout capitalist at a young age because I saw what my dad had influence without affluence. And I thought, man, if you can have influence and affluence, there's big things that can happen. So the quick thing is like I had that exposure. The second thing is that when my dad was a pastor, old school Protestant churches, you have big pulpit, little pulpit. Big pulpits, the word of God, little pulpits where they announce bake sales. And pastors don't give up big pulpit easily. And my dad, from my earliest memories on, would give up his pulpit to Dr. Oswald Bronson, the president of Bethune-Cookman, that time college. And Dr. Bronson would come in and guest preach, and he would bring in his concert chorale. And being a Methodist minister, we moved 9 times growing up. And wherever we moved, Bethune Cookman came to us. So before I knew about Florida State, or any other major college, the Ohio State University, wherever from you're from, I didn't know about those schools. I knew about Bethune Cookman. The first college I ever went was an HBCU. And then I ran track my whole life. I was a sprinter, and I went to FSU and ran track there. And being a sprinter at FSU, I went to the FAMU relays. All 4 years ran the FAMU relays, and so I ran against every HBCU you can think of. So I had just a very HBCU specific kind of childhood.